Peace was good. You read the title. You guys know what I want to talk about. Hip Hop Rant. This is a Hip Hop Rant Part 7. Can't recount today, my bad. Yeah, it is 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Anyways, talk about shit that irks me in hip hop lately, because a lot of shit does piss me off. Okay, first things first. Um, Rappers or MCs or celebrities of that matter that don't pay that owes taxes. I'm tired of going to hiphopdx.com and reading some motherfucker that don't want to pay their taxes, and it's like, yo, but then us middle class and lower class people, even some upper class, but fuck the upper class. I'm talking about, I can't relate to the upper class. It's all about the middle and the lower class. Anyways, it's us hardworking people that always pay taxes for shit that that we need, water, you know, um, roads being built and shit like that. But then you got motherfuckers like Flavor Flav. The reason I'm bringing this up because Flavor Flav, I was on Hip Hop DX yesterday, and it was reported that he owed $900,000 in taxes. Like, are you fucking kidding me? $900,000 in taxes? What? Because it's saying like, he didn't pay from 2004 to 2006, and it's like, wow, $900,000 of taxes that you owed. Like, my dude, like, come on, man. Like, you gotta pay your taxes, b. You know what I mean? And that's a problem. I think that's one of the reasons why this economy is bad, because motherfuckers like him not paying his taxes and shit like that. But also the government's doing this shit too. But I'm not really getting into that whole shit. But anyways, bottom line, pay your fucking taxes. You know what I mean? You don't want Uncle Sam on your ass. Just do what you're told, even though it's a screwed up government. But whatever. Another thing too that irks me in hip hop is posthumous albums. I hate them shits. I don't support it. Reason being is because what a posthumous album is pretty much is it's an album that's released without the artist's consent themselves, because obviously they're dead. Pretty much a posthumous album is an album released by an artist that's dead, whatever, of songs that they probably did in the past as unreleased, or they have like they have a song but they don't have a beat to it. They'll just have the vocals, whatnot. And my thing is like, you'll have like a producer or somebody that will release it, but they'll update the sound. You know what I mean? And it's like that shit pisses me off. Like, if you're a fan and you want to hear songs from the past, you want to hear how it sounded back then. Granted, like maybe the beats sound dated, but leave it. That's how it is. That's how it's made. That's like me finding a Picasso. That's like me, finding a Picasso painting and shit, and like, oh shit, like, I see it. I was like, okay, I just want to update it, so I'll dress him like in a suit or what, Armani, like an Armani exchange suit. And think, nah, you're de-evaluating the material. Leave the shit the way it is. Let the people appreciate it. That's the problem. People don't appreciate shit no more. Nothing's sacred anymore. That's the problem I have with people. People don't appreciate nothing. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, Drake. You guys should know who Drake is. Not the biggest fan of Drake, but whatever. He's doing his thing. He's making money. Whatever the case. And I respect his consistency and his things like that. And his hustle. I could respect that. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because he's releasing an Aaliyah album, a posthumous Aaliyah album, and there's a song out. I forgot the name of it. But I believe Drake is in it, and I forgot who else. But his producer 40 made the beat, because they're both executive producing the album and stuff like that. And Timbaland, somebody the Breakfast Club, which includes DJ Envy, Angela Yee, and and Charlamagne the God, had interviewed Timbaland, and they asked what does he think about the whole album, and he's like, he's not for it, because like, yo, he didn't come to me, like, Drake didn't come to me for that and things of that nature. And then you have people in the comments saying, oh, fuck that old ass nigga, he ain't relevant, blah 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 blah. That's my problem with people today. It's like, people don't appreciate shit. They don't appreciate it. Like what people don't understand is that Drake, you gotta go through the proper channels for that shit, for doing shit like this. Like he didn't go to R.Kelly because R.Kelly put was the one that put Aaliyah on. He produced that whole album, AJ Number that came out in '94, her first album. The album did well, but didn't really push her like that. It wasn't until 1996 when she put out One in a Million. Very dope album. All her albums are dope, but you know, Timbaland was the one that really boosted up her career, made her the person who she is today, made her the iconic person she is today. You know what I mean? And Missy Elliott too. But people don't really understand that. It's like they want to put this whole relevant shit, and then I'll get to the whole relevant shit too. Yes, and the thing is, I feel like people that do that, you're just cashing on people's deaths, and I'm not for that. I don't respect that. I think that's morbid, disrespectful to the family. Although the family, Aaliyah's family approved, gave Drake's blessing to the album, so okay, I could respect that. Biggie, prime example too. When he came out with the Born Again album back in 1999, yeah, some of the beats were cool, but I wasn't feeling the album like that. Same thing with the duets album that came out '05. That shit was horrible. Like they put in collaborations with artists that Biggie probably would have never collabed with. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous because from what I read, on interviews and from other artists, they sound like Biggie is a hip hop head. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And then recently J-Dilla, well, supposedly J-Dilla, somebody in his camp had released an album called The Rebirth of Detroit, and that album was horrible. The beats were mediocre. Sorry, I mean, I know some of you J-Dilla fans, you probably gonna be like, "Fuck you," blah 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 blah. That's just my opinion. Like the beats were horrible. The the some of the guest appearances didn't fit the beats and things of that nature. It just didn't feel right. It didn't sound right. And that's how I feel about posthumous albums. If an artist have unreleased material that hasn't been released, leave it the way it is. I mean, yeah, you could clean it up because maybe they had it on DAT or cassette or whatever, but leave the fucking song the way it is. Another thing too that pisses me off is going back to the whole relevance shit. Oh, you got people like, okay, let's for example, people use that word relevant too fucking much. I hate that word with a passion. Reason being is because you'll have, like, let's say you have an artist like let's say like Big Daddy Kane. Let's say you want to put out an album, and they'll be like, oh, that old ass nigga, he ain't relevant, he ain't making money, he not getting girls and shit like that. Like, who gives a fuck what's relevant? Obviously he is relevant because he's known to do a lot of shows. He hasn't put out an album since 1998. The last time he put out was Veterans Day, which I do want, but it's out of print, it's hard to come by. But yeah, he has but he does a lot of shows. He does shows all over the states. He does shows, I think he does shows overseas. If not, I think he mostly does it here in the States. And he's obviously relevant. You know what I mean? But the people just want to down a motherfucker because it's like that's the problem I have with hip hop. Like, people have no respect for the veterans. It's like people are very ageist. You know what I mean? People are very fucking ageist. It's like, oh, you're too old to rap. No, nobody's too old to rap. That's like saying people are too old to sing. If you still got it, you still got it. Granted, there are some MCs from the old school that's trying to do shit what the other people are doing today. And it's like, no, it does not sound right. It's not you, man. Like, for example, Prodigy. Prodigy's pissing me off now. Now he's doing all these love songs and shit like that. And then, like, the whole beef with him and Havoc is getting crazy. He's getting out of hand. Hopefully they'll resolve that. But Havoc did make a good point. He didn't make a good point. Like, saying to people ever since he went to jail, and I have to agree with Havoc on this. Like, he was saying how Prodigy kind of changed ever since he went to jail. Like, now he's hanging out with new people now. The sound is different. He's not the same Prodigy like he used to be. And Prodigy said like when I was growing up, when I was doing my career, I had tunnel vision, because I didn't want to work with certain artists and blah blah. And I can respect that, but at the same time, I kind of glad you had tunnel vision because when you gotta excuse me, hear noises in the background. Um, your music was ill, in my opinion. It's because you were yourself. Yeah, I can understand why you say it could hurt you and things like that. You were more negative, but that was when you was popping. You was ill. I still fuck with you, but like your music today is not good. It's not as good like it used to be. Like he's hit him like Prodigy is hit and miss, and Havoc is that's what Havoc is saying, and that's one thing I agree with him. But then now he's going to saying like, oh, he got raped in jail. I got connects saying that in jail saying like, oh yeah, I could confirm it and blah 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 blah. I mean, if that's the case, who gives a fuck? I mean, unless you put out good music, whatever. I mean, because there's a lot of people that's homophobic nowadays, and it's like, come on, people, like just grow the fuck up. Um, yeah, and that whole going back to the whole relevant shit, like obviously people are relevant. I mean, if you're touring if you're touring internationally, you're obviously relevant. Yeah, you're not in the spotlight, but you're there. Like you're still making money off tours. Maybe you're not making albums, but you're still making money, so you're still relevant. It's like the American fans, man, they fucking kill me, man. Like, oh man, it's like people just don't appreciate nothing. Nothing too that pisses me off is people using that word classic. Anytime people put out an album, oh, it's a classic. It's a classic. Not everything is a fucking classic. You know what I mean? Yeah, like for example, like I'll say like like Rock Marciano, his album Marsburg or Marsburg that came out like 2 years ago. A lot of people saying that shit is a classic. As much as I love that album, it's not a classic. To me, a classic has to age. It has to be aged. You know what I mean? Although a classic to me is an album that I could listen to without skipping a track. You know what I mean? Like shit that you can relate to. Like when you first heard it, like oh shit, I remember hearing that beat, and then like, and then the effect that that song, the impact that it had on you, and then when you listen to it again, you still have that same effect. That to me is what makes a classic album or a classic song. But nowadays, people are using that word too fucking loosely. Like a lot of people saying, the Watch the Throne album with Jay Z and Kanye West is a classic. It's not a classic to me. It's not a classic. You know what's a classic albums? Jay Z's Reasonable Doubt, his Volume Two Hard Knock Life. A lot of people sleep on that album. That is a classic fucking album. Blueprint. Those are classic albums. Um, in my opinion, those to me are his best albums. In my opinion, wasn't crazy. I'll get to what I was about to say. Yeah. So a lot of people using that word classic too much. Same thing with Nas's Life is Good. That's not a classic album. It's a great album. It's not a classic. It has to age. You know what I mean? And getting to the Life is Good, I want to talk to a lot of Nas fans that didn't like the album. Alright, listen. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh, then the Life is Good album, it's not, it's not like Illmatic. I wanted a boom bap album and blah 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 blah." I'm like, yo, first of all, you guys gotta understand, Nas is not 20 years old anymore. He's not in his late teens anymore. When he recorded the album, that was back in 92 to 94. So Nas was like, he was like around 19, 20 years old when he recorded the album. He's not 19 no more. He doesn't live in the hood. You gotta evolve, man. Like, you know what I mean? Granted, like, we all want another Illmatic, but you have to understand the producers that were on that album, they're not using those same machines anymore. Like, Pete Rock, Lost Professor, Q-Tip, they don't use the SP 1200 no more. They gave them shits away. They're not using that. They're all using modernized machines now. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure they could still make those kind of beats. You know what I mean? Although I would like for them to get on those machines to get that sound, but whatever. We're never gonna get that sound again from those producers. Let's just keep it real. But Nas is an artist that evolved because he's a perfect example of a rags to riches type of MC, where he started from poor, then he started getting a little money. He started, progressing as a human being. You start from the bottom, then you go your way up. And he's comfortable. Life is good. Dope album title. You know what I mean? But a lot of motherfuckers like, oh, it's not like Illmatic, blah 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 blah. Like, yo, you like Nas can never make another album like Illmatic. You want another Illmatic? Go listen to Illmatic. That's all you're gonna get. You know what I mean? As much as I would love that, but he's never gonna go back to that. Like I say, he doesn't live in the hood no more. He doesn't do the shit that he talked about. Robbing foreigners and shit like that. He's not doing that no more. So, you guys gotta listen to other artists. That's another thing too. A lot of people just depend on one artist to do the same thing. It's not like that. You gotta venture to different artists, man. And that's my thing. I just had to put my voice on that. Um, what else I could talk about? Fanboys, you motherfuckers are the worst. I think you are one of the contribution of hip hop being dead or being the way it is for example, like, let's say like okay, like Rick Ross or whatever, or Lil Wayne or Mac Miller or whatever, right? These are fans that love these motherfuckers so much, or like, okay, now I won't even say those. Okay, let's say like Wu Tang, whatever, for example, because I'm a big Wu head, but I don't consider myself a fanboy. The reason why I say fanboy is because a fanboy is a fan that goes to extremes. Like, they'll be up in their personal lives and trying to call them by their personal names. Like, you don't even know them, like who they are. Like if somebody doesn't like Wu Tang, you'll have somebody that'll say, "Oh, fuck you, man. You a hater. I hope I hope you get sick and die." Just like threatening them because they don't like an artist, their favorite artist. Like, yo, like, come on, you guys are too fucking delusional. Like, fanboys to me are people that don't want to realize that there is a reality, that doesn't want to escape from reality. I mean, we all want to escape, but you eventually have to come back. But they just want to live this fantasy lifestyle, like, oh yeah, I'm invincible, I'm this and that, nobody can touch me. And that's a fanboys because, like, nobody can have an opinion anymore. Everybody's a hater nowadays. I get deemed as a hater because I don't like certain things. It's my fucking opinion. You gotta respect that. If something shit is shit, you know what I mean? That's like me saying, you see a dog, he takes his shit on the road, and then you pour syrup on the fucking shit. It's not pancakes. I don't remember pancakes being shit, looking like fucking cheese doodles and shit. It's shit. I don't care how you decorate it. You could put salad on it, salad dressing, and croutons. It's still gonna be shit. It's just shit covered with salad and fucking croutons and salad dressing. It's still shit. Okay? That's just my opinion. It's shit. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong either. It's an opinion. I think if people just express their opinions and people just respect their opinions, I think this will be a much better place. But until then, it's never gonna happen. It's just it is what it is. Another thing too that pisses me off is that I've said this in one of my rants too. I think the last rant that I did is, you got people that like, let's say like a song like I see this shit all the fucking time and it fucking annoys me. Is that, let's say you'll go to like a Snoop like an Onyx song, right? Like the song All We Got Is Us, alright? You listen to this shit. But then you on YouTube, you click on the comments, you're like, oh yeah, this is better than that 50 Cent shit, or this is better than that Waka Flocka, the Rick Ross fan. Like, why do you do that? Why do you motherfuckers do that shit? Like, what's the point of doing that? What is the point you're doing that? Okay, you don't like their music, don't listen to it. That's it. Talk about the fucking song itself. Talk about the song. What did you like about it? Did you like the lyrics? Did you like the video? Did you like the beat? What didn't you like about it? Oh, I didn't like it because I ain't the way such and such said. It engages conversation, but then it's like that's the thing that pisses me off. Like a lot of these hip hop heads, that fucks it up for people like me is because it is like they'll go on YouTube and then they'll click on certain artists and they'll be like, oh, this is better than this and that. It's like, yo, don't talk about that shit. Same thing in retrospect. Like you'll go to like a very popular artist, like let's say like Meek Mills and shit like that. Those same real hip hop artists will go onto the fucking video and dislike, and they have like a whole bunch of dislikes. If you don't like the song, don't listen to it. That's it. That's what I do. I wish motherfuckers just learn to tune out. I've said this before in my last rant. I gotta do another random things that irk me, but like I said, those things take time because I gotta have shit that, you know, you guys know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, just if you don't like something, don't listen to it. Don't force yourself to like something. That's just my thing. Um, Another thing too that pisses me off is major label artists having this trend of going indie. And it's like, oh, I'm just going independent. Like, independent is the cool thing. Let me tell you something. Stay your ass in your major record label. Reason being is because there's a lot of artists in the underground that don't want to be indies. There's some people. There's benefits to being indie, because you own your own masters. Um, you own your publishings. You put out shit that you want, and there's benefits of that. But at the same time, like the thing with being indie, like you would have to do everything yourself, like promotion. You have to put up your own money for everything. That's hard. That's not easy. You know what I mean? And it's like these major labels is like it's like kind of to me is mocking the underground artist that's already indie, that's been indie for years. It's like you're just doing it because it's the in thing to do. Like no, stay your ass in a major label. You know what I mean? Like stick to your 360 deal. Let the artists that deserve. There's a lot of people that want to be in major labels, but the thing is with major labels is that you know you don't have creative control, which is why I like underground hip hop because underground hip hop people underground artists have creative control and things of that nature. And getting back, and then that's another thing I want to talk about is underground artists. Is there's a lot of misconception about underground itself. Okay, people think because you're underground, it's automatically good. It's not. Not every underground artist is good. There's a shitload of underground artists that's horrible, that are garbage. I'm not too crazy. I mean, I have a couple of their albums, but overall, listen to in retrospect, I'm not too crazy. I don't think they're that good. ICP, Insane Clown Posse, some of the music is hit and miss for me. They're underground, but they're doing their thing. You know what I mean? I think a lot of this shit is garbage in my opinion. But they got some stuff that's pretty good, like the Riddle Box album, the Great Milenko album, and the Ringmaster album. I liked a lot. Um, Things of that nature. People overuse that word underground too much. People think because you're not in a because you're not in a major label, you're automatically underground. That's not true because there's mainstream artists that are indie, but they're not underground in my opinion. For example, Method Man. No, he's not underground. He's a mainstream artist, but he's under Def Jam. But he's just not getting recognition. He's not getting limelight. He's not getting limelight. He's not getting the promotion that he deserves, which is fucked up because he's a dope MC. Mob Deep, they're mainstream artists. They're not underground. They're independent, but they're not underground. I don't consider them underground. To me, underground is, in my opinion, is people that have their own record label, that do their own promotion, that doesn't get radio play, but things of that nature. Like people are coming to say people like Wiz Khalifa being underground. He's not, or Tyler the Creator. they're not underground because they're under a major record label, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, post in the link if I'm wrong about that. Things of that nature. I think people overuse that word too much. And that's about the underground shit. Nothing too is R&B artists trying to rap and shit. Like this whole trend is starting to piss me off. Like too much people are trying to be good at everything. You can't be good at everything. If you're good at one thing, just stick to it. You know what I mean? I understand people trying to evolve and shit like that, but some people are does they don't have what it takes to be good at everything. You're not gonna be good in everything. That's just life. That's just how it is. For example, fucking Chris Brown. Now he's trying to be a rapper. He sucks. You suck as a rapper. Stick to your dancing and your singing. That's what you were good at. Even though I'm not the biggest Chris Brown fan, but he's doing his thing. He does his thing in the R&B in the R&B world. Same thing with Trey Songz. He's trying to rap. Horrible. Granted, it's not the first time you have R&B artists trying to rap. You had I remember Mary J. Blige in her first album, her trying to rap. If I'm not mistaken, Jodeci, I believe they tried to rap too. Um, was R.Kelly in that song, "A Homie Lover Friend." I really like that song. I thought that was pretty dope. He did his thing. I mean, it's nothing to write anything home about, but the beat was dope. You know what I mean? It's just like just leave the shit the way it is. You know what I mean? Like just if you know how to sing, just sing. That's it. Don't try to rap if you're not good. And then you got people that gassing their heads up like, oh yeah, yeah, they good, they good. And I don't know, just stick to singing. You know what I mean? And that's it, because I'm running out of shit to say. And hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it's half-assed. Just everything I do is unscripted. I don't do scripted things because I feel like life is what you give it. You know what I mean? And what I give you is raw and uncut. You know what I mean? And that's it. Stay tuned for more reviews, more beat videos, more movie reviews, and things of that nature, more rants. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.